The dumbing down of society. I'm going to present in this video multiple ways that society is getting dumber. And the first one is writing in cursive. Over 20 United States no longer require cursive in their schools. Most Gen Z can barely read cursive, yet alone write it. The art of elegant handwriting is fading. This one largely due. We'll get into the reasoning of all these things later on, but this is done intentionally because they don't want you reading or defining documents such as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution because those were written in cursive. All right, let's go to the next one. Reading analog clocks. Many classrooms have now replaced wall clocks with digital ones. In a survey, teachers report that 1 in 3 students can't read time in an analog clock. Well, I know how to read an analog clock, but yeah, another way of dumbing down our society. Memorizing phone numbers. Due to the creation of the smartphone, most phones are placed into people's phones as a contact, meaning nobody no longer memorizes cell phone numbers of certain people. So that's another way. A study found that 71% of people can't recall even their number to their child's school. Only 1 in 3 adults knows more than 2 phone numbers by heart. Mental math. Calculators have simply killed mental math and quick thinking. You used to memorize your addition, your subtraction, your multiplication, and your division tables. Now, lots of people, sadly, don't know them. In schools, the ability to do basic double-digit math mentally is dropping fast. Digital tools such as calculators and computers are replacing one of humanity's earliest problem-solving skills. The ability to drive a manual car. Manual transmissions are disappearing. In 2000, 86% of cars sold were manual. Now that number has fallen to under 25%. A whole generation might never learn to shift gears. We live in a generation where instead of learning sewing and clothing repair techniques, they would rather buy new. That is, I think, a general rule across all of society. Instead of learning to fix something, let's just go replace it and buy a new one. More than 77% of people don't know how to stitch a button on a shirt. Younger generations prefer to replace rather than repair. The needle and thread are losing their place in modern life. This may be a little bit really of an old school one, but reading Morse code. Once a vital thing for soldiers and sailors, now almost obsolete. Even in the military, Morse code is no longer a standard in training. A 200-year-old language of dots and dashes has gone silent. Writing letters and properly formatting letters. It seems pretty basic, but yet the average person sends 0 handwritten letters per year. Emails and DMs have erased a 5,000-year-old tradition. Even love letters are now typed and edited with emojis. So men, if you're writing your girl a love letter, do so by hand, please. And they need to get back to teaching how to write handheld letters and all the proper formatting with that. Navigating without a GPS. If you don't know north, south, east, west, which there are some people that, believe it or not, don't know how north, south, east, west, and they can't get anywhere without a GPS. Knowing, what direction New York is, what direction San Francisco is, etc. Knowing what direction states are in even. But a new study found people using GPS remember 30% fewer route details. Digital navigation weakens our spinal memory, literally reshaping our brain. We've become followers of the GPS, not explorers. Hell, drive somewhere. You don't know where you don't know where you're at. get lost intentionally, you'll eventually find your way back home. This one for all you hikers out there. Most young hikers can't operate or orient a map and find true north. Outdoors instructors report a 60% drop in compass reading abilities under the age of 30. Nature hasn't changed. Our instinct and common sense has. Typing without autocorrect. In other words, how to properly spell words. People don't know how to properly spell things, and instead rely heavily on autocorrect to correct their spelling and grammar mistakes. Now, 1 in 4 adults admit they can't spell common words unaided without autocorrect. Autocorrect made us fluent, and we got the correct spelling, but it wasn't because of our heads. It was because of the computers. Basic home repair. This one's really funny. From changing a light bulb, to unclogging a drain, to putting air in your tires, to changing a light bulb in a vehicle, to changing a tire. DIY confidence has dropped from 50% to that last sentence was horrible. DIY confidence has dropped from nearly 50% since the 90s. We've replaced problem-solving skills and the ability to figure it out with a service call. And overall, the last one, handwriting in general. A Cambridge study found handwriting speeds and legibility are declining. Students type faster than they write, but when you write something out with your hand and when you type it, you retain significantly less of that information than when you physically handwrite it. So this goes out to the students. If you're doing papers or studying, write it out with your hand. You retain more information that way than if you're typing. We're trading memory for convenience. We're trading your ability to recall information for convenience. Now, why is all this being done? This is all being done by the elites and the wealthy in this country because they ultimately want to dumb down society. Why would they want to do that? Well, you are more likely to obey and be obedient when you are dumb and stupid and don't realize what is going on in this country. You don't realize how corrupt and how corrupt the elites and the rich people and everybody is when you are dumb and stupid. They want obedient robots. They don't want free thought. They don't want free thinkers. They want you stupid. They want you to follow their instructions and their rule. It's that simple.